Welcome, Sojourners. You have found yourself a cozy place here at Sojourners Awake. I'm Jonathan, and this is our production of The Wild and the Wind. Like you, the Sojourners are on a mission. They face conflict and certainly danger. As they stand in the ruined castle underneath Sultana, demons begin swarming around them. The Sojourners have no choice but to stand their ground, defend, and even go on the offense. If you would like to support the show, you can go to www.sojournerswake.com/shop and purchase any one of my settings or adventures. This is a collaborative work between other Sojourners who have come alongside us. Well, that is enough of an intro. And so for now, our story continues. Standing on the lip edge of this castle, you hear a sound. From above you, two loud croaks, and out from the arrow slits and the windows of the castle above you start to crawl these hideous, one-eyed frog demons, and their sticky little hands and feet are sticking to the sides of the walls, and they're opening their slimy mouths, coming towards you. Roll initiative. The number to beat is a 10.
I'm so ready for this. 12.
18. I rolled a 10, but I love having 8 points of initiative.
Wow. Bertie.
22.
Holy smokes, you guys are killing it. I think this is going to be a slaughterhouse. So, yes, you are seriously advantaged against these frog demons. Before we begin the combat, any clarifying questions?
How long did it take us to get across?
Flying, you could get across in one turn or one dice.
Okay.
But swimming would be 2 checks.
Okay, I just wanted to check because I only have my wings for 1 minute.
Yeah, so you could not fly back then.
No, I just want to know because I also get extra radiant damage while I'm manifested, so I'm not sure if I'm going to be stabbing things with my...
No, your wings are outstretched.
Okay, so
Yes.
Okay, great. That's my clarifying question.
Also, another point, it is about 10-foot drop into the water below on this 1-foot lip edge. So you're standing on 1-foot lip at the edge of the portcullis.
They are coming down from above us?
Yes.
And they have, in fact, seen us.
Do they smell toxic?
They smell pretty toxic, yes. Okay, Bertie.
Yep.
Can I reach him?
No, you cannot. You could climb up the portcullis and meet them halfway, or you can wait for them.
I'm gonna climb up the thing.
Bertie, hand over hand, you climb up the portcullis, and you are hanging onto one bar. You are within range of striking a frog.
A punch a frog.
All right, 12 or higher. Bertie, you swing wide, and the frog backs away and actually hops to the side of you. It's now looking at you side-eyed as one eyeball moves to the side of its face, and it croaks horribly loud. Anything else?
Okay, so I'm gonna try one more time.
Wow, Bertie, swing and a miss, and you swing, and the frog moves out of the way, and you're hanging with your hand on the portcullis. Your feet are dangling. Next up in the initiative.
The horizontal movement of this little lip. Does it appear as though the only way to get off of it is to climb up like Bertie? I should have asked before.
Yeah, there's no real way into the front door unless the portcullis is moved. You can move far to your left.
Gotcha.
And try to jump onto the fallen tower. That would be one way to access the castle.
And secondly, I should have asked this before combat, but I apologize. About how far was the distance to get across the lake? Because I just want to be fair. I can levitate without using a spell slot once for a long rest. And it's 30 feet of walking distance. So if I need to, I can say I expended my spell slot, so I levitated twice.
You did not have to levitate twice.
So Samoon sees Bertie climbing and without going to his swords first, he's actually going to pull out a short bow. And he's going to knock an arrow and let it sail.
Aiming at the
Give
one near
cover fire
Bertie?
to his friend. The second one, because he figures Bertie is making her way to the first, and it's already dead in his opinion. so he's gonna give her cover fire
12 or higher.
and shoot straight up. Woo! Nat 20. All right.
All right, you might be able to go for a kill shot.
Great. So 5, so 14 total damage.
That is a kill shot. You let this arrow fly, and the frog didn't even know what was happening. The arrow finds its way into the eye socket. The frog then tumbles down. Eris, you catch a glimpse of it as it moves by. This horrid, fetid creature. You can smell the same smell of that toxin that was writhing around in Sultana, and it bounces off the castle lip and splashes into the water below.
Yeah, he's just going to quickly aim at the second one and take his extra attack. And shoot past Bertie.
Go ahead. Yeah. One shot.
That is a 19.
That is a
A
success.
hit. 6 damage.
6 out of 10. It still lives, but the arrow buried deep in its flesh.
So I love being a gloom stalker, like it's fun. So I have dreaded ambusher. At the start of my first turn of each combat, your walking speed increases by 10, which lasts to the end of that turn. If I take the attack action on that turn, I can make one additional weapon attack as part of that action, dealing an extra 1d8 of that weapon's damage.
Wow.
Does that count for the bow, or are we gonna say
Yeah.
melee weapon?
No, go for it.
That is a 16 by itself.
Of course it is.
3 plus 2 is 5. Plus a d8, which is an 8. So it's 8 plus 5 is 13 total damage.
Boom, boom. The other frog folk is about to chomp on Bertie, instinctively ready to make an attack. Eris, you watch as Samoon kicks into high gear and both these demons fall to their death. You hear sizzling and boiling as their bodies immediately decompose into a foul, toxic acid. A fish floats up, dead, from ingesting the toxin in the lake water. So, Eris, all is quiet in this moment.
Samoon, I have a very important question. Why did you want me to go first?
You know, to be cover for us, because I was pulling Bertie. I thought that made sense. I'm sorry, should I have gone first?
Well, clearly. And she sheathes her weapon and puts her shield up to make a point, and then thinks about it and pulls them back out. Actually, no, she'll sheathe them because she's got to use her hands to climb. So, well, I think it's safe to say they know we're here.
Yeah, we better get off of this ledge like Bertie very quickly.
At this point, you see that there is a arrow slit in the window that you could climb to from this portcullis. It would be a little bit of a stretch from foot to hand as you stand on the last rung of the closed portcullis. Eris, you are also able to guess that if you made a jump across the lake, you could make it to the fallen tower from the lip of this doorway. With that information, how would you proceed?
I mean, I still have my wings, so I'm just going to float up to the arrow slit and then turn back. And can I lean out and offer a hand to help Bertie across?
Indeed, you may. You clasp her hand and you're able to get to the portcullis. Up in this tower, you have crawled through this guard room. There's not much to it, just a stairway that leads immediately down to the first level. This appears to be some sort of watchtower. You do notice, Samoon, that as you enter into this watchtower, the same sticky frog footprints are on the floor. Do you indicate you descend to the first level?
Is there anything of interest in the room? Weapons laying around, armor, potion, or is it just like a desk and some paper or something?
Simple room, desk and papers, indeed. Who would be going down first?
Looking at the papers, what is the language of anything that's written on them and the contents? Is it just like journals from bored soldiers sitting in watch, or
Stick figure doodles.
Samoon, as you look over these journals and these drawings, you see the paper is very aged and old, but was left here during a time of battle for bloodstains. Bloody fingerprints touch the final pages. This is indeed a log, keeping track of which guard came on and off duty. As you look through the text and the writing, you recognize it as 500 years old, 700-year-old document of the time of King Jamet and Queen Canesta. Very old Tethurnan kingdom. This indeed was one of the castles that was drug into the ground, having mysteriously disappeared by some foul order of the malignancy. The story goes that the king and the queen were ruthlessly murdered as some horrid monsters of orcs, goblins, trolls laid siege by the hand of some evil empire. The castle itself sunk into the ground to become a haunt for demons.
Samoon, not necessarily one for reading himself, is actually going to roll up the parchment. Hey guys, I know this isn't what we're here for, but I think Baltop might like this. And so he's going to just kind of roll it up and put it into his pouch. Maybe we can. What was that one guy who was with the other group? Was it Ascender Tim, right? I think maybe he would like it. He seemed like a nice old guy who would read a lot.
Yeah, Samoon, so as you pick up this book and gently hold it, you realize the binding is exquisitely keeping the pages, the worn and tattered pages, in place. The leather bound closes quietly, and you stuff this guard log and historical document of an ancient and forgotten dynasty. Samoon, you have quite the gift in your backpack.
Now we have to survive.
As I right. And I can't lose my backpack. Samoon pockets the book and turns, and then, Bertie, I totally forgot. I'm sorry for taking your kill. I know that monster was yours, but I couldn't help myself.
No, that's okay. I mean, I was trying to punch it with one arm anyway. I mean, I feel like what you did was much more effective.
Well, I will be sure to give you your space when somebody else gets it before you.
Okay. That's a good deal.
As the Sojourners move down the stairs quietly, leading the way, this tower leads into the first level of the castle, which is flooded with 2 feet of water. You're able to guess the distance and then gently step into the water, and you see before you in this first courtyard, an immediate room to your right. You see a doorway across the courtyard. Then you see a door to your 2 doors on your left that are surrounded by buildings. Those doors on your left are obviously rooms within this castle. Once again, in a doorway to the right immediately, a doorway all across the courtyard, which would be about 2 dice checks of wading through the water. And then you see to your left 2 rooms guarded by 2 doors. Eris, I'm assuming you're out front, as you seem to indicate you taking point. Any questions you might have, or otherwise, how do you proceed?
Well, we're here to do some demon extermination, so let's start clearing rooms. Left or right? Right's closest to us, right? Let's go that way.
Eris, as you walk into this room, it leads you into an old stable. About 6 stalls for horses, different saddles, and ancient bards used to protect the horses during combat. There are rafters above, and hanging ever so grotesquely in the center of the room are the decomposed bodies of the king and the queen hanging from the rafters with their jeweled crowns still upon their heads. Samoon, the hairs on your arm begin to stand up straight. Something is not right in this room, and I think you would sense it. Eris.
I want to move towards the skeletons, but I'm doing so cautiously, kind of like military style, going around each stall, looking in. And then before I'm trying to make my way because I want to cut them down and bury them.
Samoon.
As Eris begins to move, Samoon just going to reach out real quick and just put his hand on her shoulder, and then give her a quiet gesture with his finger, and he's going to make a perception check around the corners of the room that he can see to see if there's anything hanging in the darkness above before moving further in.
And Bertie.
I'm just standing kind of at the doorway watching them.
In that case, Eris and Samoon, both of you make a perception check.
19.
That is a success.
That will be a 19 for me as well. Unless it's in my natural environment, I can add 4 more to that.
Indeed, you do so. And I think
19 or 23, your pick.
23 is fantastic. Both on guard. I'm going to say, Eris, you are on the left looking into the stalls. You've already moved past the 2 bodies. Samoon, you are also on the right side of the stalls. As soon as you kick open one stall and you look to the side, Eris, you are the first to see it. A dog pile of these horrid humanoid creatures with rats for a head. These ghoulish looking, fiendish monstrosities are all piled up on each other like some sort of gang pile. And as soon as you walk into that area, their eyes flicker open red and they begin to attack.
I have a fighter maneuver. It's called Brace. And the first time a creature comes in my reach with a melee weapon, I can expend a superiority die to attack it.
Go ahead.
It's a reaction.
Yes, do that as a reaction.
So.
There are 20 of them.
I'll maybe stab one. That's an 18 to hit.
Indeed it is.
Awesome. So that's 8 plus 3. So that's 11 points.
Eris, with this clean strike of the rapier, you quickly discover that each of these rat demons have 10 hit points each. You pierce through its throat and it gurgles and bursts into this horrid acid, splashing. You protect some of your skin by immediately raising up your shield. We are going to use the exact same initiative. So Bertie,
Okay.
You see you hear a loud noise in this stall and you see a creature run itself right into Eris's rapier. Bertie, you look up left and right and you see that these little rat humans have been hiding out like little cocooned creatures up in the corner, and they're beginning to descend on your right and left. How do you proceed?
I'm gonna rage and reckless and charge my bracers, and I'm gonna go punch some rats.
All right, well, they are coming towards you. There are 5 of them coming towards you, Bertie.
Okay, I'm just gonna punch the nearest one. First one is 17 plus 5.
You know it's a 12 or higher.
8 points of damage.
You smash into its face and it gargles and spits. How else do you proceed?
Is it still alive?
Yep.
I'm gonna hit it again. 7 points of damage.
1-2 punch. Bertie takes out the first demon. Well, the second demon. Eris, the body count is now 1 and 1. Bertie, you stand your ground.
Yep.
Samoon, you're next in the initiative. You see that there are 5 of them in this stall.
So I'll do my Dread Ambusher first.
Of course you will.
Oof, that's a miss.
Interesting.
So the first, yep. Yeah, I rolled a 3.
Oh, Samoon, you
Plus
are the
5, so
first.
8 is a miss.
Yes, and Samoon, you are the first to discover. As you swipe, this rat does this fainting, like, backwards maneuver, and a tail sprouts from its behind, wrapping around your ankle and yanking you flat on your butt. The next attack will have disadvantage.
Ugh! Stupid rat! Strike with my base attack, which is a 15, but disadvantage. So I rolled a 10 on the first one and a 13 on the second one, so 15 or 18, I hit it. And a 6, so plus 5 is 11, so not quite on the second swing. And then I'll do my extra attack. Advantage with a 2, so that'll miss. A 3 and a 5. So yeah, he only hits the one, but he's flailing and the rat is pulling him.
Oh, Samoon, yes, the tail wraps around you and your hands just chop down with this scimitar, just chop down with your weapons, and the rats are dodging left and right. Not looking good for Samoon on this first round. Eris, you are next. Samoon is battling 5. You have 5 in front of you. There are multiple creatures that are scattering around the ceiling, hovering over you, Samoon, as well. They are out of...
Well, I'm going to attack the one that is first in front of me. That is a 19 plus 6.
Strike through it.
D8. That's a 7 plus 3 is 11 to kill it.
Oh, indeed you do, decapitating
So
it instantly.
And then I just stab at the next one with my extra attack, which is only a... 13! I still hit!
Piercing the side.
But I only do 5 points of damage. But I'm going to use my... No, I'm not going to use my action surge yet. We've got more to fight.
All right, you pull back your rapier covered in demon blood. It hisses and spits at you. Having everyone gone, now it is the demon's turn.
Here we go.
All right, Bertie, you have 4 that are on top of you. So if you would make a... no, they get 4 attacks. Ooh. A 13 and an 18. A 13 and a 16. It is 14 points of damage, Bertie. They drop down and slash at your shoulders. Samoon, you have 5 to contend with.
Armor class is 16.
1 hit and a natural 20. You bounce off to the side and then just more start grabbing towards you. 2 jump on top of you and pounce, but you only take 7 points of damage. Eris, you have...
Should be 4.
4, yes, 4 to contend with.
And my armor class is 18 because my shield is out.
2 hits then for Eris, but that is 26 points of damage for Eris.
What kind of damage is it, by the way? Is it...
Demon biting damage, piercing?
Okay, I was wondering because I have resistance to necrotic. 2 hits at 26 points, and then Samoon got a natural 20 with 7.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I was supposed to double Samoon's, so 14. Yeah. Samoon, you got 14. And then the other 4 on the ceiling...
Of course.
...are going to defecate on the ground below. This area is now difficult terrain. Shield up. There are little patches of slime. In the case of anyone rolling a 5 or below, they step and take 1d4 points of damage. Resistant to demon poop. Okay. Well, Bertie, it is your turn.
Hey guys, I think this room just needs to be burned down. Does anybody have like a lighter or anything? We just need to burn it.
I think I do.
I have a flask of oil in my backpack.
I have a tinderbox.
And I have a torch.
Let's do it.
Bertie, let's do some massive damage. What are you gonna do?
I just need the oil.
Samoon, you throw the flask of oil to Bertie?
Samoon's yeah, I'm prone, but I'm gonna drop one of my swords, reach back, just grab the flask and just chuck it out as I'm like holding one of the rats off of my torso with the other hand.
All right, Bertie, make a dexterity check. It could be sleight of hand, 12 or higher.
You can decide to attack will give you advantage on melee. Danger sense. You have advantage on dexterity saving.
Is she recklessly oiling?
You know, I like that you brought up danger sense because everyone forgets to do that. I will consider that this a trap that you're trying to avoid. As Samoon chucks this flask of oil, what does that give you?
I can just re-roll.
Okay, reroll. Go for 12 or higher.
17.
17. Bertie, your barbaric danger sense kicks in and you spin around and catch the oil. You have the flask of oil in your hand and a torch.
I'm going to take the torch, light the torch, and throw... So Samoon and Eris, are they standing together?
Back to back.
Okay.
Well, Samoon's on the floor. Eris is standing up, but they're between two stalls.
I'm going to throw it up into the rafters on fire, like a fireball, up into the rafters.
You're going to throw the flask of oil.
The lit flask of oil up into the rafters.
Okay. Like a bomb.
Yeah.
Okay. And then you intend to just burn down the roof?
We'll burn down all the rats that are on the roof.
The 4?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, make another dexterity sleight of hand check, 12 or higher.
No.
No? What'd you get?
A 4?
A
Plus
4.
2 is 6.
Okay, so this means, Bertie, you throw and light the bomb, but it actually goes off right there. Which might work in your advantage. So you're now going to roll a d4, 1 point for every demon you instantly kill. 2. 2 demons instantly go up into flames. As well as you do. Your clothes are on fire.
Stop, drop, and roll.
Bertie starts rolling around on the ground.
In the
demon's
demon
backing
poop.
away. And demon poop. Ugh.
I'm immune to demon poop.
All right,
There's the
next-
quote from the night.
Yes. Next up in the initiative, Samoon, you are on your back, right? Samoon? Yeah.
Yes. I was jotting down that wonderful quote. I'm immune to demon poop. Gonna put that on t-shirt. Yeah, so Samoon is like wrestling the rat on top of him. He drops his one sword right next to him and grabs the flask and tosses it back. And he doesn't really even watch to see if Bertie caught it or not. He just threw it in her direction. And then he immediately goes back. So he's gonna re-grab the sword that he dropped, and then he's going to force his way to a standing position. So do I have to do a contested strength roll? No?
No.
Okay, so is that an action to regain or stand back up?
No, you need to be cutting off some demon heads.
I said technically it's half your movement to get up from prone.
Sure.
Okay. I mean, I'm not going to move anyway, but I just...
You were actually
wasn't aware.
supine, to be technical.
That's fine. I didn't want to be the rule slayer, but
Right, so wing 1, he regains his composure, and that is a 9, so that will miss. He's going to swing with his left hand for 14 by itself.
Finally.
So he's doing 2 weapon fighting, so that was the offhand. So 4 points of damage. And then he's going to retract for a second attack. So that's 16 on the first one. I'll just do the offhand as 12, so 17. So 2 more hits.
Ooh.
So that's 9 more points of damage. So
Samoon,
we
I'm going to
did-
give it to you. You slash and cut off, hacking 2
Sure.
demons with 3 left surrounding you. You stay your ground? All right. Eris, 4 left.
what is the state of the fire?
It is burning. It was a very large explosion, a little bit of flash. There are some of the rafters, not the rafters, there's some of the posts that have caught on fire. Yeah, you can tell that given enough time, this place will be consumed.
Okay, but we want to kill some before we start running. So, all right. Well, then I will just start stabbing it again. I've got 4.
Indeed.
Well, that's 16. My first stab with 5 points of damage. Stab the same one a second time.
Go for it.
And that is 18 plus.
Mm.
So that will be... Oh, and that's a 6. That's 9. So that one just gets killed.
Instantly.
And now I will use my action surge because that last attack really hurt.
You got 3 hits. Go for it.
So that's a hit with a 15 plus. And that is 6 points of damage.
Mm.
And then my second is a 12 exactly. Only a 1 for damage. So that would make that 4 points. So I think I killed 2 demons then between my 3 attacks.
You did 2, and you have 2 left. They're cowering, scrambling around, climbing on top of their fallen comrades, ready to jump on top of you. And now it's the demon's turn. Bertie, there are 2 that are moving through the fire. They go to attack you with a 13 and a 10.
Oh, they both missed.
Beat them off. Samoon against you, a 9 and a 13 and a 7. Eris, a natural 1. And finally a 17.
Nope. Armor class is 18.
You know what? All 3 of you get an opportunity attack for that abysmally low rolls.
Nah, abysmal.
Make an opportunity attack. Eris, you get 2 because one of them is practically just throwing itself onto your weapon.
Well, that's 16 to hit it, so...
And with that, you plunge your rapier through its gullet and it falls over dead. The second?
Okay. Oh, I'm sorry, the last one was 17 to hit. This one is 16 to hit. I rolled 11 and now a 10, plus 6. So
you hit both times.
yes.
You swirl around, smashing it with your shield. Its eyes go dark and blind. It's merciless, standing before you.
Well, I did 5 points of damage with my rapier on it, so if you'll let me cut off its head, that's what I'll do.
Indeed.
Saber just...
Slashes through it and its head rolls off down through the stable. Samoon, how did you fare with your opportunity attack?
I rolled a 16.
Oh, you instantly slash one. You're like crawling around on your back, backing you, bust it in the face with your boot. It spits out a little bit of blood, giving you an opportunity to plunge your sword into its chest. Bertie, how did you fare? Bertie, you go to swing after it, but these 2 creatures are now dancing in the fire and they're kicking and biting. They seem to be pleased and happy with this level of chaos. Well, that is the end of the round. Bertie.
I'm gonna inch my way back towards the door.
Bertie, you are now clear of this room. You are standing in 2 feet of water in the courtyard.
Hey guys, we should just leave this room and close the door behind us. I think it's gonna catch on fire anyway.
I agree. But Samoon's going to go to the king and queen corpse, and he's going to remove their crowns out of honor to them to hopefully preserve their lives, and at least in memory.
I'm going to back out of the room, shield up, and once we're all clear, slam the door.
You slam the door shut. Eris, if you make a strength check against these demons that are going to pound against the door. Athletics will be fine.
7 plus 6.
They bang and pound, but the fires begin to burn and you hear their squeals and screams. An effigy rises from the castle as the king and queen burn. Finally laid to rest, Samoon, you hold in your hand the lost crown of the king and queen. The door to the stable is shut. You are back in the courtyard. Bertie, how do you proceed?
There was a room to the left, right?
There is a room across the hall, and then there is a wall with 2 doors on your left.
I'm gonna go to the room across the hall.
Eris and Samoon, how do you proceed?
Samoon's kind of just catching his breath. Hey, do either of you want to carry one of these crowns? I feel like if I carry all of them, like the chance perhaps of nothing getting back is greater. And in case, something bad really happens. But I feel like we should honor their memory in some way. So I will hold the book if you guys want to carry either of these crowns.
I think we can each take a crown. Refresh my memory. Did we have potions of healing?
You were given 1 potion of healing each from the priest of Duvana.
I think I'm going to take mine out and take a swig, because that fight took quite a bit of my hitch points. Metaphorically speaking, of course.
Roll your 2d6.
So that was 9, and then do I add my constitution modifier or not?
Yes, go ahead.
It's not terrible. Whew, that was one room.
Every story comes to an ending, so for now, we must conclude. Thank you for listening, Sojourners. Your attention will not go unrewarded, and we look forward to continuing this adventure. If you enjoyed this background music and ambience, you should visit Tabletop Audio. Find them at www.tabletopaudio.com. And take the time to sojourn with us. To support the podcast, you can go over to www.sojournersawake.com/shop and visit any one of my wonderful adventures or Sojourner's Guide to Bonzarel. If you enjoy world building and studying fantasy worlds and mythologies, I'm sure you'll enjoy this product. But however you choose to sojourn with us, as always, may your story continue.